All right. So you ready to go? I guess we're a little bit early here. It's Oscar night, so I don't even know if anyone's going to be watching, but let's hope so. Cheers, my dear.
Cheers.
Are you cold?
No, I put that hot water in.
No, it's just taking a while to warm up.
I don't know. Yeah, It's okay.
So, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are live for Hello. We are live for the second episode of the Sunday Night Sex Show. We got so many cameras going on. I don't even know where to look.
I know. I'm like.
Let's keep it looking at the middle one.
Okay.
So, we're in episode 2 of the Sunday Night Sex Show, so thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining us. It is just myself and the beautiful Rhandi with us this evening.
Hi.
Who will be with us every Sunday. She's our beautiful co-host for the Sex and Sunday Night Sex Show.
You're so nice.
Yeah,
Ooh, I
absolutely.
like it.
Look at that. You're looking great tonight.
Thank
the
you.
leopard skin.
Well,
Yeah, sure.
You look good too with the
I look the same as last week.
Yeah.
This is when I'm ready to talk sex. So, how was your week?
Good.
It was good?
It was good. Very productive. Lots of work.
Okay, anything?
Lots of work.
Lots of work?
Yep.
Do you want to tell the audience where you work again?
Krumins men's grooming spot in London.
This is a barber for men, ladies and
I'm
gentlemen.
a barber chick.
More for gentlemen, I guess. Yeah, so she takes care of this again. She took care of this before as well, right?
I need
Last
to do
time?
it soon. I
Yeah,
know.
I'll do it next week.
Yeah.
So go see her. Where are you located?
733 Richmond.
Awesome. New location for those of us in London, Ontario. That is where Spartan Nutrition used to be.
Yeah.
Okay,
Spartan
so
Nutrition.
you can
No
find.
longer there.
You can
I
find.
wish they left some shit in the basement though.
What do you mean,
Like protein
like
bars.
supplements and stuff?
Yeah.
Probably help you out during those, those busy days.
Oh. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, what do you want to talk about this week? I have a few things, but we were talking earlier, and there was something that was brought up about men and their lack of commitment in this day and age.
I'm curious about that.
So, tell me what you're curious about and a little bit of the background behind the question.
Well, I just feel like men are more, like, really at the beginning, they're all about, like, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to, like, all these big dreams or whatever, and then slowly, things change. Once they get comfortable.
And what? After you've probably slept together?
Yeah, once you've had sex.
Okay, sure.
Then they kind of, they don't feel that way anymore. It's more like a live in the moment type attitude.
Sure, and again, I'm all for living in the moment, but
I am too.
Yeah, this is the thing. So, when it comes to men and all the gentlemen out there, I'm sure you can relate because I know I pulled this shit many a time to try to get in, not just to try to get in women's pants, but also to do to get into a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously you put out the best version of yourself in that at the beginning. I think both people probably do.
I do too.
Sure. You want to attract the person for almost the person that you wish you were to some extent.
Oh fuck.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Kinda,
yeah,
right? Like,
I agree.
So yeah, we can blame men, I think.
But you don't have any problems at the beginning either.
No.
So.
But it goes both ways. It's not just men that do this. It's more often than not, it's men that kind of get the shaft and the shit.
But I'm asking you though about the men part.
Okay, the man part.
Let's focus on that.
We try. Okay, so let me tell you about when we go after a woman that we really are into, that we really want. We'll do almost anything to get that. Once you've gotten, let me tell you something
about.
It's
the chase, right?
I don't know.
Once you have it, then it's.
Well, once you've had it, you had it, sure. But I mean, you still. There's many men out there that still enjoy sex once they've had it. I mean, there are men that just want to get it, like hit it and quit it, right? But there's still lots of men out there that enjoy their regular sex, but they can't keep up with the image that they created of themselves. Mm-hmm. So it's almost, everybody wants to go in. It's just like the social media these days that we see. Everybody goes in with their highlight reel. You don't see the days where they're fucking hungover in bed, or they don't want to get out of bed. Maybe they have depression, or they have this other shit going on, and they don't want you to see that. That's hidden. That's not their best version of them. So as they get more comfortable with you, and as women get more comfortable with men, as people get more comfortable with people, they start to become more themselves, and you start to see things that maybe aren't as attractive as you thought because. Hey, the glitz and the glamour of what this person was. And keep in mind, as you're going through the honeymoon phase, you're more willing to accept flaws than you would be after a certain period of time. There's all that oxytocin running through your blood. Everything's going on. There's chemicals of love in your body. And eventually, that starts to wear off and real life kicks in. And you're like, okay, so this person that you had up here no longer is that person that you put up on that pedestal. They're actually a real human being, and you start looking at them for the person that they are, not the person you thought they were, not the person they pretended to be.
Yeah. Like, and I understand that everyone puts on their best foot at the beginning.
Yeah.
But what's with this afraid of commitment bullshit? Like, you talk about that, and then once you proceed to that, like...
Okay. So
is
we're
that
not...
where you're getting at, like, with...
Kind of. So, okay, so originally we're talking about men and women trying to impress each other to get to the point where they've now become comfortable enough to fuck each other and potentially go into a relationship. Right? So the lack of commitment, it's hard to explain. When it comes to men, and I can only really speak about myself at this point in time, when I was...
not ready?
I think so. I think a lot of it has to do with not being ready.
And to get the person, they probably say a lot of those things to just get the person. Like
sure.
To seal the deal type thing.
Well, it's making the biggest sale, right? I mean, you're selling yourself.
Yeah.
It's just like any other sales position.
Yeah.
If I can sell myself to you to get what I want, then I've accomplished that. So it's no longer quite as important. But the commitment thing comes with, if you look at technology now, you look at how easy it is to, like, what we talked about last week, the fuckboy thing with the DMing and the inbox and shit like that, right? Yeah. So the lack of commitment is because we're constantly seeing everything else that's out there. And it makes it a little hard to focus in on the good things that you have like with this person when you're constantly distracted, right? So
it's guys afraid to...
It's not always guys, it's women.
Okay, well, but we're talking about
guys, right okay, yeah.
But women too.
There's lots of women out there that are just as bad. And trust me, I give guys a bad rap too, because, I mean, obviously I have a daughter, and I want to make sure that I get these gentlemen in check, right? When it comes to... I'm all for everyone diving in and exploring every kind of sexual experience that they can, regardless of what that is or whatever your sexual orientation is. Yeah. But what I do have a problem with is the deceit and the lying and the people that get hurt in the process. So, for example, if you're someone that wants to be unfaithful, don't get in a fucking relationship in the first place. Like,
but I think people want, like, the best of both worlds, though, too.
But that's trying to have your cake and eat it, too, right? Like,
so maybe the answer is just everyone be single.
If you can't commit, be single.
It's so much easier now, though, to just be single.
It's very easy. It's
because
it's almost easier than it probably is easier than a relationship.
Yeah.
So and we are seeing a trend. We're seeing kids, and I don't want to say kids. I want to say young adults and millennials. We'll give them that title.
We're seeing less marriage too.
Well, there's less committing going on. Period. People are more comfortable being single. People are more comfortable having.
Because it's easy just to, like, if you want to, like, be with somebody in a way, like, sexually, it's easy to find that. It's easy to get that, like, right away, and then you go on about your day. You don't have to worry.
Well, there's a shift happening, and the shift isn't necessarily a good shift, in my opinion, anyway, because it's easier now to sleep with anyone, and people are more open to fucking each other than they ever have been before, right? So that's fine, but you can have totally I can't. Some people can. You can have totally meaningless sex.
Yeah.
And meaningless fucking going on, and you can just do that and get away with that for your entire life without ever having to feel any kind of pain, or anything of substance at all, for that matter.
No drama, no fighting. No...
Everybody's so fucking afraid of getting hurt that it's just like, you remember?
Because it's really easy though, too. Now
it is easy to get hurt. Easy to.
Yeah, it's easy to do whatever you want, like to get whatever you want. Yeah. It's just easy to do all those things.
Do you think that we're raising a more selfish generation? I mean...
I don't know.
Do you think that the values now are what they once were?
No.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, you look at...
It's kind of scary, though.
Yeah, it's kind of scary.
Well, I'm... Like, for just, like, the younger generation.
Yeah, for, like,
I don't think they're gonna...
Your son and your daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I worry about my daughter, too.
Just the way, like, marriage is now, and, like, just the commitment between a man and a woman, or whoever, man and man, woman and woman, right?
Yeah. No, I know. Different. There's a lot of deceit happening.
I mean, we can go on and on about this, though.
Well,
it's okay.
Yeah, let's talk. I mean, the commitment thing's a good thing. I mean, obviously, guys, we're live here. We can't see a lot of your questions and comments.
Yeah, sorry, but
Go ahead.
people will stay in relationship if the sex is really good.
Sure. I've stayed in relationships when the sex is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no... I mean, sometimes it's easy when you're addicted to the having sex and fucking the person.
Right.
It's like, okay, well, the sex is great. You start to look past some of these problems for a longer period of time.
Yeah, and it's just doomed.
Eventually,
From that point.
I mean, everybody gets to their breaking point, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but anyway, sorry to get back on track here. Anyone that's watching that has questions, please email them to sexandsuicidepodcast@gmail.com. We will answer them next week. We try to, we can't see what you're saying on Facebook or Instagram.
Yeah, everything's turned around.
Yeah,
so.
but we do care what you want answered, questions, concerns, whatever. And if you want to be a guest on the show, we're more than willing to have anyone that wants to talk. If you have a funny sex story, if you have something...
bring it forward.
Do you have any funny sex stories?
Me?
Yeah, you've got to have a few.
Fuck.
Let's hear one or two.
Well, I don't know, because, like, I have a few, but... Like, what... I don't know. Like, what would be considered funny?
Well, I can tell you, there was, like, I mean, it depends. It's all relative, right? Like, for me, I remember I was living downstairs, and I was dating this woman, and I have a pretty high bed. It's a big king-size bed, and it's pretty high, and we were just... we were ready to get right down and fucking each other hard, and she started trying to pull my pants off, and as she was pulling my pants off, she stood up because they were tight pants. They were tight around my calf.
Yeah.
I was working out around that time, and so she tried to pull my pants right off, flew off the bed, smacked her head in her back, and we're pretty sure, we didn't take her to the hospital, she was okay, but she ended up with an ice pack on her head. I can't remember if I still...
You guys end up still doing it?
I think so. I can't remember. She was a trooper. But anyway, the rest of the weekend, she was in pain. And,
really?
it was a good time. I remember that was a funny story. I've got lots of them, but that's an example.
Yeah, I've got a few too, but I don't know, like, if I want to get into those ones.
You don't want to...
I don't know. No, I don't know if I...
Guys, if you want to hear all about Randy's sex stories, email us at sexandsuicidepodcast.com, and then let's force a little pressure. Consensual pressure, of course. Right? We're all about consent.
I'll think of something, maybe.
Okay.
Because I've got a few that I can think of, but they're not really ones that I want to, like...
You got nothing funny to share? Or are you afraid the guys watching might be a little embarrassed? That's okay, too. We can admit that. But anyway, that's okay. So, the thing that I want to talk about this week, if you're okay with it, did you ever do the online dating thing?
I did.
Yeah. What did you do for online dating?
So, I got onto eHarmony.
Okay.
Yeah.
But never any apps?
No, I didn't do any of those apps. Because I feel like those apps are just like to fuck.
Sure.
Like, I actually I had to pay to be on this. I had to answer a bunch of fucking questions.
Yeah, the eHarmony stuff's like, it takes like an hour, doesn't it?
It's longer than that. It's
really?
So much, yeah. And then they match you with people.
Yeah.
So, and I actually did meet a guy, and I dated him for a bit, but he lived far, so we just...
really?
Yeah.
So it could have potentially worked for you?
Yeah, he was a great guy, but he just wasn't,
Okay.
Yeah.
So
it did work, but after that, I was like, fuck this, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, long distance thing.
Yeah, and there's a lot of like bad eggs on there too, I believe.
On eHarmony too?
Yeah, I believe, but it's like some people are like, oh, I'll beat off of plenty of fish or something, but I feel like all that is like sex.
Sure.
Like it's just because you don't have to pay for it.
Yeah, I think I have met people.
I feel like if you have to pay for it, it's legit.
I have, okay, fair enough. But in defense of people, like eHarmony has those free weekends for Valentine's Day and shit or whatever, right?
Okay, well, I made sure like
you made sure yours was legit.
This motherfucker was paying. So was I.
Okay.
It was like for women, it's cheaper too. It was only like $70 for like 6 months.
For everything, it's cheaper for women for the most part, right?
But it was interesting.
Vegas, especially.
You get to look through the guys and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of pick, right?
So you would say that you had from eHarmony.
I had decent like. My mom actually said, like, Randy, just give it a try. You never know.
Yeah.
Because she has friends and, like, coworkers that they're now married.
Yeah, from eHarmony?
Yeah.
See, I know people from Plenty of Fish, though. We can't just discriminate. I know.
You're fucking on Plenty of Fish.
I'm not on Plenty of Fish.
Yes, you are.
If there is, it's
You're
fake.
defending it like I'm motherfucker.
No. It's because I know I have friends that are married from Plenty of Fish.
Get out, really?
Yeah,
that was
I do.
back in the day before all this other shit.
A few people. I know that it was originally for fucking. Like I know lots of people that just fucked each other off Plenty of Fish.
Now it is like my one girlfriend. She's like, "Oh, I'm meeting this guy at Plenty of Fish," and then every time it never fails, she's like, "Fuck, this guy was fucking crazy. Like all he wanted was sex and like." Yeah, like I was just, that's not for me. I feel like if you pay for it, then it's legit. But then you can pay for a lot of things.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say, especially in the escort fucking industry, right?
Right.
Okay, so do you think that like Tinder and Bumble have replaced Plenty of Fish? Because I don't hear Plenty of Fish anymore. Do you still hear Plenty of Fish?
Well, I never hear like Plenty of Fish. I hear POF.
Okay, so POF.
Short term. I don't know. Yeah, I do.
So
I don't know, like Bumble. What is it?
So just to clarify though,
last week.
Yeah, Bumble and Tinder.
Yeah. Oh, Tinder. That's
Tinder.
what you
Yeah.
Yeah,
but just
I would
to clarify,
never go on that. But,
you never go on that.
But you want to know something funny? Some people took my pictures and they use it for dating sites.
They do that a lot.
Yeah.
They do that a lot. I have a funny story with that, and we'll get to that. But I was gonna make a joke about. So would you say that your ladies went to POF? And and just the joke's already ruined. And they just found POSs.
You're trying. You're trying so fucking hard.
I know, that was terrible.
Oh.
Okay, so anyways, the reason I'm bringing up Tinder and Bumble is because
it's the ponytail in your hair.
I know, all my brain cells are back here now.
Cute though.
Thank you.
No, I don't know.
I think that, when it comes...
You said last time that you want to do it the old-fashioned way.
I do want to do it the old-fashioned way.
So, coffee shop.
Coffee shop, yeah. Like, I don't go to the bars anymore. I like
that way, too, though.
I still have this, vision of... I know, call me a hopeless romantic or something. But I still have this vision of just, having that, connection from... And it's just, draws you in. I don't know. Fuck, maybe I'm too old school.
No. There's probably a lot of women, watching, thinking, oh... I need me one of these.
I doubt that, but anyway. The reason I wanted to get to Tinder...
He's a great catch.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I guess so. Not a fish for Plenty of Fish, though.
No, don't call Plenty of Fish. You're better than... Well,
oh, yeah.
Sorry, but no.
Thank you.
There's a girl waiting at the coffee shop.
There's a girl waiting with my green tea latte.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
The reason I wanted to bring up Tinder and Bumble is because recently someone really close to me, she had a situation with Bumble, and I don't want to say the nice thing because it turned out in a disaster, but she originally met this guy on Bumble, and Bumble is known for having sort of better quality. It puts females in control. The woman has... So when you become matched, I guess it's the woman has 24 hours or something. I don't know the whole thing. I think I have it right. Has 24 hours to respond to the man that matched with her. So it's in the woman's, everything's in the woman's hands.
But isn't everything in the woman's hands for
I don't think for Tinder. I think guys can just be like, hey, what's up? And can go into the... I don't know. I can't remember. It's been a long time. I was on Tinder once briefly for 2 years ago.
Someone broke into my Facebook a while ago, a long time ago when I was on Tinder, my picture, but I got it removed. Yeah.
Let's get that out there while everybody's watching.
Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah. So, anyways, this person was really close to me, met someone on Bumble. They started dating for a year. They just got a place together. He goes down to LA. He's on a work trip. Guess what? He goes back on the Bumble app. Mm-hmm. He finds someone when he's down there. He fucks her. He comes back. He doesn't tell the person that's close to me.
And then she finds out.
She finds out because the woman that met up with him in LA...
I'm getting old. Holy fuck.
You're right? Can you stretch out?
No, I'm good.
The woman that he hooked up with used Facebook to kind of track him down. Saw all these pictures of this guy with his girlfriend. So she had... And men, if you're watching... I think it's really, really incredible if you can have the courage, after you've made a mistake, message the person that's being cheated on or getting deceived. Because
if you know something
that's not cool. That's really not cool. You can hurt a lot of people that way, and no one wants that. It's just creating a shitty world full of shitty people. Cheating. So he cheated with another woman. She had the guts to message and. This person that's close to me ended up kicking him out of the house. But So that's an issue that I have with this. It's just so easy, right?
I know.
And then it came to the surface this guy that she ended up kind of getting a place with. Now he is in therapy because he has sex addiction and this and that. And so obviously, you know, I mean, I'm all for mental health problems and sort of being an advocate for mental health and people getting help. But sex addiction is something that's really tough to deal with. And when you're someone that you care about...
What exactly, like is that just... What are the signs of sex addiction?
Sex addiction, what are the signs?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I mean,
That's a really good question.
I think that, like, I would ask...
Because how do you know when you're actually addicted, or...
Yeah, I mean, you have to kind of... It's just the same with anything else, right? Like
someone that watches, like, porn every day?
I don't think... Like, you can have an addiction to porn. I don't think that, like... I think an addiction is something that you just can't live without, and at a regular basis. It's always on your mind. It's always what you're thinking about.
Okay, so it's like a normal...
I mean, I wouldn't say it's normal. I mean, I'd say like if you're constantly...
Addiction.
Yeah, it's like a normal... It's like an addiction like anything else. So just because it's sex, if you crave sex or you're addicted to porn, I mean, as long as... I guess it's just like anything else. I mean, you have to become... you can't be addicted to it anymore. Basically, you have to learn to pull back and have ways of coping with these things. Just like I do for alcohol. I just stopped drinking, right? So you have to, I mean, obviously I don't know the exact ways to stop.
But that's hard because sex is such, it probably is harder because sex is like nature.
Sure, and that,
like,
to be completely
it's so
honest,
different than...
That's really beyond my realm of expertise. That now you're getting into, you're focusing on the mind. You need to see someone that's a psychiatrist.
You're talking to me like I
No, not you. But anyone. See, sex addiction is really, now you're dealing with addiction. You're not focused on sex itself anymore. I mean, yeah, that's the addiction.
I just thought maybe you would know some of the signs. Like, I guess I could think of the signs. Like someone that...
Well, someone that constantly, like if you get home every day, they're always watching porn. It's what they do every time they have a spare minute, or they're trying to fuck you constantly without, without the romance.
No mindness, no no romance, foreplay, whatever. It's just about getting off at that point. Is that what you mean? Like you just... Maybe. I'd have to look into it.
Yeah. But I think that's another problem that we're having this day and age, and that's why people are, as we talk about these younger generations coming up and being more open to just fucking and fucking everyone, really, and being on their way.
That's kind of gross. If you think about it, a lot of us have all fucked the same person.
Well, if you think about all the
like
fluid
the whole
swap,
roundabout?
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you and I are connected. We've gone back in the past. We've kind of traced each other's...
with my partner and then his ex-partner.
Imagine there was an ancestry page. Like, you know how you can trace your relatives? It's like, you can trace all the people you fucked on this site by just clicking...
So we're all connected in some way.
Yeah, in a pretty incestuous way, actually. But
that's fucked.
Yeah, so... that would be funny. However, I would go to that site. I would go to anytime you have a new partner, you can plug their name in and be like, all the people they've slept with. Hey, I slept with this.
I've slept with this person.
Link it up, connect the dots.
Fuck.
That'd be hilarious. There's a $1 billion idea. I'm gonna copyright that on here. Inside here first. Anyways, so that's where the problem that I'm seeing is and it's. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you guys think that it's okay, and it is okay. It's not that it's not okay, but it's not something that I personally see as being a benefit to the world. As people being able to just fuck. Like it's just about fucking and getting yourself off. It's about selfishness, really. Because if I don't care about, we'll use you as a hypothetical person. So I'm bringing you home and I just want to fuck you because I just want to get myself off. That's totally selfish. Like, I'm not even considering you as a person. Absolutely, right? Fuck. And I think a lot of people say, well, I got off or I just got off. I mean, when you really care about someone, the goal shouldn't necessarily be for you to get off. It should be for the other.
For the record, like, women take longer. And women take longer to get worked up. And for men, I just feel like it's like they get erect, and as long as it's wet and moist, they're good.
Yeah, that's not the case.
But with women, I think men are mine too, right?
Yeah.
But for women, I think it's a lot more work.
So,
or maybe I shouldn't say work, because then that sounds really bad. But
Well, it should be enjoyable, right? I mean, I know a lot of guys are probably thinking, "Oh, I know she takes so long to get turned on," but that's actually key. We should talk about that.
Yeah, we should. We should really talk about that.
Eating for just for the sake of using this term because I like it. Eating pussy should be your go-to move if you are with a woman. It is. The clitoris is by far...
Then what about the guys that are like, oh, well, like, you have to suck my dick, too?
Okay, so... it's the same thing, though. If you want something, like, it's... instead of...
I know,
but if
I feel like it's different.
If I want a blowjob, if I want someone to suck my dick, I should be going down on them and kind of leading by example. I just don't want to be like, hey, can you come over here, babe, and suck my dick for a little bit? It'd be great. You know, steak and blowjobs day. Like, sure, it's nice if you have, it's give and take, right? It's just like anything. But I think that, why is that so funny? Okay, she's getting a kick out of something. Okay, explain to the audience what you're laughing about.
Your leg is like,
what, is it hanging out?
I just thought, no, it's okay.
Did you think that you were looking at her? She thought she was getting a show.
I looked down.
That's what that was.
Like, what the fuck?
That wouldn't have been the response.
It was just his leg. Oh.
Yeah, did you think it was something else? Did you think you were going to... Because that's not the response I'd want, by the way.
Sorry.
Anyway, that's okay.
Fuck, that tripped me out for a second.
No, I'm wearing underwear.
What kind of show is this?
I'm wearing underwear under here in case anybody's wondering.
No, it's just like a little part of your leg up here just hanging
out. Just hanging out?
Just peeking out, yeah.
I guess I gotta do something. It's a little part of my leg showing. I guess I gotta get to the gym a little more, right? I'm wearing really sexy underwear, by the way, just so you know.
Are you? Show everyone.
No, because I think that this video might get flagged. The one thing we can't do on here, we can say all the vulgar shit that we want, I think, until we get shut down, if I'm wrong.
Yeah, maybe one day.
But I think nudity is the one thing that will get us shut down. So
we're always going to be fully clothed.
Yeah, even when we have strippers on the show, which kind of sucks, because I'm planning on doing that eventually, but...
we got some girls coming on, and I don't think they'll be able to do anything, though.
They can do stuff, like, off camera.
They can wear their cute outfits, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be...
And we can watch it.
Maybe it'll encourage more guests.
We'll let everyone know what's going on.
Yeah, be like, oh yeah, she's got some nice areolas, you know, nice and perfect width, whatever. Should we get some male strippers for you?
We need some male strippers.
Some male review guys. I know
I know a lot of those guys, too.
Do you?
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll get them on.
We can get them on here, too.
Speaking of...
I think it's different, though, too.
Why
is it so, like, for males to be strippers, it's like this big, like, ordeal? I sound so against males.
That's okay. That's okay. That's just today. She's not. No,
I'm not. I'm all for it.
That's okay, because I've got a lot to say about...
But, like, as soon as a girl strips or does something sexual, like, there's such a name put on that, and I want that to stop. Like, that needs
the double standard, you mean?
Yeah, and then the guys, they're just like, yeah, man, that's fucking, like, you know what I mean? They have no shame in it, and they don't get bashed for it either.
Well, it starts at a young age, right? I mean, a guy sleeps with a lot of women in high school. What is he? He's a stud. A girl does, she's a whore, right?
Yeah.
So it's almost like that's something that we have to nip in the bud as well. I mean, everybody's sexuality is their own. You know, whether or not you want more, or some woman wants more partners, and like there might be a woman out there that's saying, I like sleeping with lots of guys, it's what I do.
And that's okay.
That's fucking okay. It's just not for me, and it's not something that, you gotta remember, I approach everything as though, even myself, as though like I've got a 6-year-old daughter, and the guy that I want to be is the guy that I want her to end up with, and vice versa. The things that I want for her, like I don't necessarily want her going around and sleeping with, because it can be unsafe at times, right? And you can get into some sticky situations. Literally. Yeah, so I mean, that's just my personal outlook, but I'm sharing this with you, obviously with no judgment for whatever life you live. We just want you guys to be safe.
We all have our own preferences.
Yeah, be safe, have fun, live long, healthy lives.
And don't be mean to other people about it, like what their choices are.
No, be open and be respectful. Everybody's different, and we should be embracing that. Like it's fucking, like.
You're thinking of the fucking year, are you?
What's that?
You're gonna say the year.
The year.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say it's fucking 2017.
Kind of, but like I can't say that anymore because look what happened in the fucking U.S. election, right? I mean. it's kind of like we're stepping backwards.
Yeah.
The actual president-elect himself has gone out there saying he just grabs women by the pussies, and I'm total for consent, and he never really even apologized. But also, I think he has some mental health issues too. It's the only way I can.
I think so
it's
too.
the only way I can fucking tolerate it. Seriously. So anyway, back to Bumble and Tinder.
Yeah.
So for those of you guys that are new to the show, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. We appreciate your support. If you have been tuning in regularly, you'll know that, and this goes back to sort of you having some sites created that were fake. Your pictures were stolen.
Yeah.
So a few weeks ago, when we first started the show, after the very first episode, someone, I'm pretty sure I know who too, created a fake ad.
Oh no.
On what was it on? It was on Craigslist. So and they used my phone number. I don't know what the ad said. I don't really care enough to look it up. But I started getting text messages.
I'm curious.
Yeah, I can't show you the messages because I don't want to I don't want to give out any confidential information.
No, for sure, yeah.
But this is the thing I want to talk about. So originally I thought, okay, someone put my information on a dating site or whatever, Craigslist, fair enough, haha, right?
Yeah.
So I got one of the guys on our first Woman Crush Wednesday, Brandon. So if you go back to the first Woman Crush Wednesday, I gave him my phone and I said, respond to these people however the fuck you want.
How did he respond?
Yeah, he was pretty straightforward. He's like, hey, yeah. Some of them are like, hey, I'm interested in your ad. And he'd be like, yeah, me too, or whatever. Then, the next day, I got a picture sent to me.
Ooh.
And for the record, just so you know, I am a heterosexual male, but I'm comfortable with my sexuality, just so you know. Mm-hmm. And the picture was a full frontal, almost down to the cock of a grown man.
Oh.
So I started getting, so this is the thing, I'm like, okay, so obviously someone used my phone number to create a gay dating profile. So I was like, okay, interesting, this will be a fun experience, we'll see what happens. Mm-hmm. But then there's just so you know, there's another page created also by probably the same individuals, and that was on Backpage. Backpage, just so you know, gets way more of a response than Craigslist does.
What is Backpage?
Backpage is where you can go, pretty much.
Yeah,
you can go for escorts and things.
So it's a little bit safe.
I've used it in the past, and we can talk about that another time.
Yeah? For sex?
Yeah. Back when I was a badass, I did use that, but I mean, I was drunk, I was hot,
And you just want... Okay, can we just talk about it now?
We can talk about that, but I want to talk about this first. We'll get back to that. So anyways, these men that had my number, this is where it got uncomfortable for me, is I started receiving dick pics.
Ooh.
And I didn't ask...
Those are horrible, too.
So the thing is, I don't mind...
Don't do that.
But I'm thinking along the lines of, these guys, this could have been a kid in high school's number. What thinks... What gives you the good fucking idea to send a picture of your dick if you don't know who the person on the other end of the phone is?
Well, because I think it had to do with the ad, too.
Well, maybe.
Just like,
send dick pics? Oh, maybe. But still, I mean, have the common sense if you're cruising these sites. That's up to you.
Yeah.
But what if this is... I'm okay because it's me. I'm a 30-year-old man. I can handle it. But again, I think about my daughter. She doesn't have a cell phone yet. But what if some kid did this as a prank and some young man that's 12 or 13, or this girl is 12 or 13, is getting dick pics? That can be a guy that flashes...
You probably do get dick pics, though.
But there should there not be a law against this? I mean, it's the same as me flashing...
If they're not getting dick pics, they're probably seeing it on porn or something.
Fine, but I didn't ask...
But I guess, I didn't ask for them.
That's an invasion.
No, I know.
It's the same thing. If kids are walking home from school and some guy hops out of the bushes and flashes himself, that's illegal. They didn't ask to see that dick, right? That's... So there needs to be... Maybe I'm wrong, but I think this dick pic thing is stupid. I think that...
Women, what are your opinion on that?
Women and men, because these are gay men,
and
right?
Men too.
If I didn't ask...
Is it a nice thing to get? I think that's...
I think that you do think it's gross.
Oh gosh.
I think it's pretty. I don't think there's ever really a good. Mind you, I've sent them before in the past as well, but
that's gross.
Yeah,
don't do that again.
That was only to one person.
I don't know.
She requested them. This is the difference.
Okay, well that's a difference. If I'm with somebody and I'm just then maybe I'll request that because that's mine and we. Yeah. You know,
but men, please.
But to think that you're gonna pick somebody up with that?
Whether you're sending a picture,
your
of
dick
fucking...
always looks bigger in a picture too.
Yeah, maybe that's why they like them so much.
Yeah, but, I don't know.
Okay, so listen, men out there everywhere. If the other man or the other woman or the other person has not requested a picture of your cock, Do not ever think it's a good idea to just force that upon them. That is not okay. I didn't like.
Okay, but what about women? Men like getting pictures of women. So women do it often, and men don't complain about that.
I'm not complaining, but yeah, I guess I don't really complain.
Like just
about that.
random girls or whatever.
But I don't know. I just feel like it's more. I feel like
it's more like a women thing to do. I don't know.
I feel like the female. I feel like the female body is like a work of art. It's where life comes from. It's sexy. We're just a bunch of fucking cavemen. Like, what? Dick isn't really hot, in my opinion, is it? Like, it's. Well, I mean, I guess.
It's. No, it's not. It's kind of.
You know,
that salt lamp.
I'm sure everybody's cock is beautiful in their own right, but I mean, I don't think like.
You are beautiful.
Yeah, you're beautiful. Sure. I don't know. I mean, I'm a little biased because I appreciate the female body.
What about women's bodies though? Like, do they have to be like a certain size, shape?
Well, I mean, okay, obviously. Everybody has their preference. Sure. Yeah, so. And we're seeing in mass culture that everybody's going to the gym, everybody's gearing towards eating properly and sexy bodies, and I get that, and that's kind of like what everybody's aiming towards. But I think that if you really look, you're able to find beauty in any person.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, I've had conversations with women that are probably, 300 pounds, and they have they could have a beautiful.
Why are you doing this to me?
What did he making you laugh? But I'm just saying, like, body image.
I don't even know. I'm so goofy today.
You are. You're having fun though.
Yeah.
It's because the girls are hanging out.
Okay, they're not. They're so covered.
They are. You look great. You love your outfit.
Thanks.
Yeah. So anyways,
no, but you found beauty in that. Like you found.
I can find beauty, and like, if you look deeper, that's the problem.
No, I agree. I agree.
We're not giving people the opportunity to look deeper anymore.
Like you have to have something on the inside.
Yeah.
Because if you don't.
There's lots of gorgeous people walking around.
So many people have become ugly to me, though.
That are shitty
that
people.
That are so gorgeous. Mm-hmm. Because they're shitty fucking people.
100%.
They're mean. But, yeah, no, I agree.
Anyway, that's where I was going with that. But I guess you're right. I think that if we're being fair here, then, and even though I do love and appreciate a good nude picture, I would have to say that, listen, if I don't ask for it, I don't give you my consent, or anyone doesn't give you their consent, don't send pictures, especially if you don't know the person. That's the fucking stupidest thing. I could have just, written back,
the grossest thing ever.
Thanks for sending a 12-year-old boy.
I have Snapchat, and, guys have done that, and, I just simply said no thanks.
Yeah.
And I block them.
I don't get it.
It's so gross.
I don't get this whole dick pic fucking, phenomenon. It's it's everywhere.
Well, I think it kind of coincides with, everything that we're, the times today, where everything is just easy sex. You get up on your day, you know what I mean? And then we just get a dick pic and then you have sex.
I've talked to, sure.
It makes it so easy.
But I've talked to women that have been on, Tinder, and the guy's been hi, she's been hi, and it's dick pic. What the fuck are you doing, man? When is that ever a good idea? Imagine I met you on the bus and I was just hi, whip it out? That doesn't happen. Anyway, this dick pic fucking epidemic is driving me nuts.
Okay, we were talking to some chick though.
What's that?
She's hi, and then she sent you her tits. You'd probably be oh, okay, but it's because it's a dick. Dicks are just weird looking.
That's not what it is. Okay, my problem with the whole. Okay, so after I did The Bachelorette, I got a lot of those, and because of the whole sex coaching thing, the title, I was getting some of those images just sent randomly from women in Alberta, Chicago, whatever, and that's the one that I sent the dick pic to, is one in Chicago.
You
and did? This girl, Did
it go viral?
I don't think so. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, my face isn't in it, so I'm not that stupid. But she requested it.
Okay.
She requested it. And she was sending me...
And you sent it?
Yeah, I don't know. I was going through a fucked up phase, right? I was drinking, I was doing a
I'm not saying... I guess that was sure, send it. Yeah, it's good.
She asked... I didn't ask for the pictures, but I accepted them.
But she asked for the dick pic.
Yeah, women bugged me for those pics at that time. And obviously, I don't want to, but when you're drunk and they're sending you pictures... She sent me a picture of herself with her middle finger in her vagina. And, had her clit like all positioned in the picture. It
Really?
was the hottest picture I've ever received in my life. Yeah.
Really?
I loved it. I still have it somewhere.
So then you...
So if you're watching this on Facebook, I won't mention your name, but feel free to send those pictures again. Is that bad?
Do it, girl.
Yeah. Anyway.
And then you sent the dick pic back.
Yeah, and then I sent the dick pic back. I regretted that the next day, though. I was like, oh my god, this was a bad move. It's going to be on TMZ with the rest of the shit.
Why is it a bad move, though?
Well, I don't
you got
know.
something to hide?
No, I just think that it was a bad move because I didn't know her. It could have, it's just one of those shady situations.
I wonder how, like, lesbians
Send what?
like,
I'm not sending dick pics.
I know.
Yeah.
But, like, I wonder if
Like,
they
from their
like
point of
that.
view?
From their point of view, if they like that, like seeing
I don't know.
vagina
Probably. I mean, it's the same as.
in a picture.
Yeah, I mean, I like.
Well,
if
it's
I
not
asked.
the same as getting a dick pic
Because it's the fountain of life.
yeah, I don't know.
Pussy's power. I was watching this show yesterday, and they were talking about how like pussy is the greatest thing ever invented, and it's like the most powerful thing. It's more powerful than money.
What's it?
Pussy. Life comes from it. It feels good. Anyways, it was interesting to watch. I agreed with everything they said. So.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true though. I think.
Pussy's power.
I think so.
Sure.
I think so.
To some extent, anyway.
Well, unless
I mean,
you
we're
don't
not-
like pussy.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, there are obviously
But
dick is
then-
power to other people that like dick and whatever else, right? So,
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, you and I talk as though when we talk, we know we're both obviously heterosexual people. You're
Yeah.
attracted to men, I'm attracted to women. So sometimes we get talking from our own perspective. And we always want to know that we try our best to obviously incorporate everyone. And that's why we need more people from the LGBTQ community to come on here and...
Say that again.
Yeah, I know. I always
Say
fuck,
that, Say that.
I always fuck that up, and I'm afraid they're going to add another...
LGBTQ?
Yeah. Lesbian, gay...
Bisexual?
Yeah. T is transsexual, transgender, and Q is queer. I believe. Queer, or... Maybe I'm wrong about that.
I don't know. Someone help us out.
Yeah. Anyways, I'll have to look that up. No, I think it's something else. Anyway. Yeah. So we respect gender neutral and all that stuff. I mean, I don't.
Yeah, it's not.
It's so new, and the information's always just evolving. Like anyone that's up to date on that stuff, by all means, come share with us. I mean, we're more than willing to
learn and
get
educated on a few of these things. So.
Sure. So what did we cover so far tonight? We covered dick pics.
Mm-hmm.
We covered how easy
Tinder, Bumble.
How easy it is to cheat these days. Commitment. How superficial these apps are becoming, and this world is kind of becoming in a way.
Oh, it's sad though.
I know. I'm worried about it. I mean, it's just I don't know. Like I think that people know.
And a lot of people stay with their partners even though they do that because it's like they feel like this is the world we live in. So
it's fearful.
I'm gonna leave, and it's hard for people to leave like everything that they've built together. Just to meet another person that might do the same thing.
Well, sometimes you're absolutely right. I mean, sometimes that person that's kind of fucked with you up to a certain point, you kind of get jaded by that and think that, okay, well, everybody else is like that too. Mm-hmm. And it makes it harder to find individuals out there that really do have a good heart. And we're not saying that, like, everyone, I think, deep down tries to be a good person and tries to do the right thing. Mm-hmm. I think it's just the way that our world is shaping itself. And it's, it's becoming a bit of a...
So maybe we can all change that.
Sure. If you want to. If you don't...
If you don't...
maybe you're just young and you like fucking everyone and you like the chase, like you said, or you like going to the bars and you like picking up. And, we love to hear your side of it too. So come on and share with us, because that's something that maybe, we don't have all the answers. We're not always right. I'm certainly not. And I have no problem making, seeing things from other people's perspective. Mm-hmm. I just have my own sort of values and my own beliefs. But I'm not...
wonderful.
Thank
Everyone
you.
should have.
Everyone should. And by no,
and
in
yours
no
are
way,
nice. Yours are good.
I feel like my heart's always in the right place. Maybe it wasn't in the past. I mean, I obviously...
We've all made mistakes.
Yeah, sure. But I feel like from this point forward, I always look to the future and trying to be the man that I want my daughter to end up
And
with.
for more pussy pics from that girl.
Yeah, and for more pussy pics. Like, yeah. And there's nothing wrong, like, again, I mean, there's nothing wrong with people sending pictures to each other. Be careful, though. Like, you could be fucking in it. Like, I'm not obviously someone that's going to report this stuff because I really don't care that much. But there could be a police officer that's doing this shit, and you're sending dick pics right in. Like, I don't know if there's a law against that yet, but there could be. I mean, there could be. You could be getting fished out.
What, if you send a dick pic?
I don't think there's a law against it yet, but I think eventually...
I think, like, if you're underage.
But that's the thing, is that people don't know if you're of age or not,
Okay,
right?
yeah, I know.
And is that gonna be something moving forward that's gonna be an issue?
Yeah,
like, you don't know,
I think so.
I mean, I could throw anything. I think you have to be a certain age to be on a dating profile on, like, Tinder or...
But you can lie.
Sure,
like,
yeah. It's pretty easy. I mean,
not like someone comes to the phone and says, "How old are you?"
That's true. I mean, on the internet, they don't check...
to swipe your ID.
Exactly.
You can literally... I think there is some stuff that you do have to send photos of your ID to do.
Do you? You're talking about dark internet stuff, aren't you? You looked really deep into the web.
I've applied. No,
Yeah.
I'm just joking. No, but you do. But, like, you just have to know a birth date that's going to be of that age. Like, it's so
it
easy.
is pretty easy. You're right.
Yeah, so it's not like it's like...
I think that'll change in the
future.
future. I think that'll change in the future. I think...
With our camera phones, you have to, like, take a picture of yourself or something? And,
I don't know. Maybe, well, I mean, the camera phones we already have take your thumbprint, right? I mean, they've got a ton of information.
Yeah, I had that the other day on my phone, but I got the thumbprint and it didn't work, so I had to take it off.
Really?
I had a backup password, yeah.
Well, stop changing your identity.
I know.
And, like, using fake thumbprints.
I know.
Yeah. Mysterious woman.
You never know who you're going to get next week.
Is there anything else? Yeah, that's right.
Right.
Well, you can't really change too much because I can always identify you by a few of your body markings.
Yeah.
Which I think are awesome, by the way. I love that style.
I have quite a few tattoos.
Yeah.
I love them too.
See, that's the thing. What do you think about people, just because as we're on the topic for tattoos, it used to be thought that people that had tattoos were in the kink community.
Yeah.
And considered kinky.
I think now it's like, oh shit. I think now it's more, like, accepted. A lot of girls like it. A lot of guys like it.
Sure. No, I agree. I think that
it's more accepted.
I
just wish that we had better artists back in the day, because I got a lot of shit on my body I have to cover up now.
It's okay.
Fuck.
It's fine. It'll look great when it's done.
I got my sister's name tattooed on me.
Yeah.
And she was supposed to do it, like, a couple weeks later. Never did.
Oh, she was supposed to get your name tattooed back?
Yeah, it was like a thing we did.
That's
I'll never
awesome.
take that off, though.
That's awesome. So... do you find that, obviously, I mean, people that are tattooed, I haven't had any tattoos to this point because I
don't have none?
No, nothing.
Get the fuck out.
I want to get my daughter, and there's
You're
things that I want to do.
Tattoos?
Yeah, I am. Because I was never
Next
able to...
Next week we're tattooing Shawn
live
on the show.
Sure, why not? That I think we could probably do. Do you find that when did you first start getting tattoos?
My first one was when I was maybe... 17.
17?
Yeah.
So at that time, it was probably relatively new. I mean, it wasn't as...
Well, there was people that had them.
That were getting them done, but not to the extent that it is...
rebellious type.
Sure. So do you find that you've been prejudged for your tattoos before? People kind of have this judgment when they meet you and they're like, oh, maybe... or maybe
the tattoos I have now, but not then, because they were rather, like, little small ones.
But you're, like...
But now, when people see me, I get judged a lot because they think I'm this, like, crazy fucking... They think I do a lot of drugs.
Which is unique, because you actually don't.
Yeah.
Right?
And you're
pretty reserved.
It's kind of funny, you know?
Yeah.
But they like, oh, you know, like coke and stuff, and I'm just like, you know, I've tried it.
Sure. Yeah, me too. I've had a phase.
But they're really surprised when they find out that I'm not a big partier. I don't do drugs. I don't drink. You know, once in a while I will. I'm not knocking it.
But do you think that's just what
they think that that's all I do?
But from a sexual standpoint, okay,
because of the way I look, like my crazy hair and like what I do.
So they think you're a big partier.
A lot of people are surprised when they find out that
you're not a huge partier.
Yeah.
What about sexually? Do you find that people prejudge you as being maybe a little more sexual adventurous, or?
Well, I don't think that has anything to do with my tattoos. I'm usually pretty out there with my clothing and the way I present myself, but it's always good. So people judge me on that a lot, but I don't give two shits because, you know.
You know who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But my tattoos probably add to it. I don't know. I think it's so accepted now. That,
Yeah, I think it is too.
You know, I think it's more or less like not like in the kink aspect, but just when people see me, they think of.
Yeah.
You know,
do you have
I'm
any
a big partier, and maybe that involves sex too. I don't know.
big sex orgies?
Yeah,
We should have those over here.
I know. I've
After the show on Sunday
that.
nights, orgies over here. No, I'm just totally fucking with you, but
no, he's not. No, he's not.
This is gonna be the Playboy Mansion of London, Ontario. After these shows,
yeah,
are
I think so too.
Yeah, so just keep that in mind, people. We are very sexually open here. I'm totally kidding. We're pretty. Actually, I don't really care either way. But come be a part of the show, and yeah, you're more than welcome to hang out with us afterwards.
Yeah.
It was just Randy and I here tonight. We actually had a few other guests that we were planning on kind of showcasing, but things come up, and we understand that sex and being so open and honest isn't.
It's a tough thing too.
It's a tough thing. I mean, even Randy we were talking about earlier. You're having a bit of a battle with even coming on here from time to time. But you know that when you leave, our messages, we're always trying to be sex positive for any couple that has, whether it's a sexual issue or a question. We always want you to give you the positive.
And I feel like a lot of people are like always behind closed doors with it too. So it's like someone just has to kind of like push that a little bit.
100%.
And come out and
use these words. Like we don't mind using words like cock and pussy and fucking and whatever else. I mean, we can eventually
what words are there?
Well, eventually we'll get into words like water sports and scatting, which is probably something that
scatting?
Scatting, I don't know.
Just joking, I know. No.
Do you want to go there a second episode?
Yeah.
Okay, so scatting is basically when you're into playing with the other individual's shit.
Oh, no, I didn't know about that. I
thought
that was squirting.
No, squirting is more of a female thing that happens through a G-spot orgasm.
Ew, people actually play with each other's shit?
Yeah, it's called scatting.
Well, I guess if you like it, you like it.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
I just wouldn't like it, I don't think.
Eventually we'll get to that.
Don't it till you try it.
Fuck, we say we're gonna like ease people into this show, and they're talking about playing with shit on the second episode. Anyway, I hope we lubed it up enough for you. So, so eventually we'll get into those things.
Okay.
And there's it's not. I'll be open and honest. It's not really my cup of tea. I like ass play. I'm not really into shitting on each other though.
Like anal sex.
Yeah, or eating ass.
Does it feel different than
rim job and stuff? Yes, it does.
Anal sex?
In my opinion, it does. Well, usually it's a little bit of a tighter sort of muscle. It kind of feels like. Have you ever seen anal beads? How they used to put strings on the end. Now they kind of leave long rubber devices. Mm-hmm. That's because in your ass it can actually suck things up. It's a very unique hole, we'll say. So if you're playing with something,
so I can get stuck up there.
Yeah, so it's very important if you guys are playing with.
Yeah, don't just put like anything in your bum.
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
No, but seriously, because that would be embarrassing to go to the hospital.
Well, do you see?
Or that's injury.
When you look at a butt plug, have you seen a butt plug before?
No.
Okay.
I haven't.
You really? Really?
Shit, man, I seen those.
Okay, all right, okay. So butt plugs have this big thing on the end of them, and then sort of an arrow shape.
Like it's like a
the reason for that is so that it doesn't get sucked up like an arrow.
Wow.
So obviously, if you're having anal sex, that's a good feeling, right? I mean, the vagina is great, the ass is great. It depends on who you are and what you're into.
Oh, so it's getting sucked up.
Yeah,
it
takes a little bit to get in there, but eventually it kind of pulls. It's an interesting feeling.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't knock it. I mean, whatever. If you're into it, you're into it. If you're not, you're not. It's all preference, and it's all...
That's probably a better feeling.
Well, I mean, why do you think that there's a lot of guys that are into anal sex? Why do you think they're always asking for bum, right? I mean, it's a nice thing to get once in a while. Birthdays, New Year's, whatever. It's a nice little gift. So... Yeah, I mean,
You're getting bummed tonight.
That was like, I used to love that. I used to love when I hear that.
Really?
Yeah, that was a turn on for me. Just preference, yeah. But
and the girls, like, they would do prep work before.
Prep work in terms of, like...
Have you ever had poop on your penis?
No, I mean, it's...
Never?
I don't know. I don't look at it. Like, it's just like...
Don't you go to the bathroom after and, like, clean yourself?
Yeah, but usually the person that I've been with I give them complete control. So that means, like, if it's something that they prefer the lights off and they want to take the towel afterwards, whatever, It's up to them. I'll just jump.
You off?
Yeah, but we jump in the shower usually after or before too. I mean, it's always cleanliness is key. I like to be a very clean person.
Yeah.
However, when it comes to like, for example, there's people that hook up after going to the bars and things like that. Think about like how much sweat and like alcohol and things like that.
Oh, that's gross.
When you think about that,
that's like a UTI.
That turns me off. I've done it before.
And smells too. Oh, smells.
Yeah. You want to talk about smells?
Smells, yeah.
What are we going to talk about on this episode?
Guys are like, what? Attracted to what?
Attracted to what?
Like smells?
Sure. I mean, everybody.
Smell is huge.
For you, smell is huge?
Yeah. I have a dog nose. Like, I can sniff shit from a mile away.
So you prefer your male partner to not have schmagma in his cock, right? For those of you who don't know what schmagma is, it's gentlemen that have foreskin. If you don't clean under the foreskin properly, you'll develop sort of a unique smell and a unique textured kind of.
No.
Yeah, it's not a good thing. Just make sure that you take care of that. Pull the skin back, scrub it out. Personally, I don't have foreskin, so I'm okay there. But don't know why I felt the need to share that with all of you.
Well.
Yeah, there you go.
Like women, every woman has a different odor. Is that correct, or is that or do they all smell the same?
No, they definitely don't all smell the same. I mean, everybody's different. First of all, everybody has different diets. Everybody has.
So your diet probably affects that too.
Sure, I mean, there's certain things that you probably want to.
I started that juicing the other day. It probably smell like celery.
No, that's like any kind of vegetable and nutrients. All the healthy stuff is usually going to be okay.
Okay.
It's when
all the sugars and that probably.
Yeah, the only thing that might make a difference in you is smoking. I haven't looked into that, but I think that when you talk about drug use and chemicals, putting chemicals and things in your body,
it would make
it can affect the way that you smell. Sure.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, when it comes to smell, everybody's different. Like, it doesn't mean just because some guy told you that you don't smell good, don't take that personally, because that might be some other man or woman's perfect smell for them. I mean, it's just like a cologne. Not every guy's going to like to wear the same cologne. Not every woman's going to like to wear the same perfume. Mm-hmm. You like what you like, and when you find a match, enjoy it. But it has been like, if you don't take
what about like cleanliness? Like, have you ever like told a woman to like go and wash herself, or like for?
Yeah, of course.
I told a guy before, like, please go and wash your.
Sure, I think especially with new partners.
I think it's a big turnoff.
Sure.
But then you find that one person that their smell is just amazing.
Yeah, like there's been in my previous relationships, I've been like there was women I dated that they come back from the gym and I just want to rip their clothes off and just lick all the sweat off their body. You know, I didn't care what it smelled like; it tasted great.
Yeah.
So smell may be.
Depends.
Yeah, I mean it just. Yeah, it depends. It depends. There's situations where, I mean,
back to personal preference.
Yeah, it's all. That's what sex is. I mean, sex always comes back to personal preference. Mm-hmm. What I like might not be what you like. What you like might not be what I like. Everybody's unique, and no one should be made to feel sort of alienated for what they enjoy, unless it's something that's legitimately a problem. Like if you're a pedophile and you need help, that's something that is
for sure.
There are some things that are wrong, right? Like, but then again, that comes down to the issues that are beyond my realm of expertise, far beyond.
Yeah.
So,
mine too.
and this is as a coach, as a sex coach, what I've been told, and this kind of coincides with the mental health stuff that we do. Mm-hmm. They say that mentally ill people cannot be coached. I don't totally believe that. I think that there's I look at everyone as though the world's mentally ill. Everyone that I meet, it's just easier to approach that person as though there's something going on up there, because 9 times out of 10 there is. Whether it's anxiety, whether it's self-esteem issues, we all have this voice in our...
What a great point.
Yeah.
That's so true.
If you approach everyone as though there's something that might be going on, then you can see that person for who they really are, rather than just being freaked out by someone being different. Mm-hmm. So instead of being freaked out by people being different, maybe approach it as though, like, we've all been told everyone has their own shit, everyone that you know nothing about. It's a common cliche thing that people say, but it's true. So there could be someone that you walk by, all they needed was a smile from you so that they don't go home and hang themselves.
Ugh.
Think of it that way. I mean, if you just approach everyone like they're people.
Because we all have our issues. We're all, you know?
Yeah, and this is another thing about relationships that people really need to understand too, as we talk about how people change in relationships. You have to understand, you're not just dating the person in front of you. You're dating the person. We've all been conditioned from a young age. So I have a judge in my head that's constantly telling me what works for me as a child for my survival. So whether that was avoiding certain situations or whatever that was, there's a judge that's been developed in my head.
Inner child in you.
Absolutely. And we all have this thing called an inner critic or a judge, or you can call it an alter ego, but there's a voice in all of our heads that's constantly telling us what's right, what's wrong, or whatever, that was developed from a young age. So I'm not just dating, for example, you. I'm dating the judge, the conditioning that's happened through your whole life.
In my whole history.
Sure. So I have to be considerate about what's going on in your mind, as well as the person that you are.
I've never lived.
Yeah. So you're not actually dating. You're dating 5 people in a relationship. You're dating me as you see me. Mm-hmm. You're dating the person up here. Mm-hmm. I'm dating you as I see you. I'm dating the person up there. And there's this relationship that is us, that is a separate entity as well. So you don't just do things because it's good for the other person. You do things because it's good for the relationship. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So hopefully that was somewhat insightful for people. I'm not as dumb as I look at times. I can be, but still.
You're not dumb at all.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, so I wanted to kind of leave on that note.
That's your inner child talking.
My inner child. My inner child doesn't need approval anymore.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Isn't that a great feeling?
It is. The thing, to be able to do something like this means I really don't give a shit what anyone else thinks. If you don't like what we're saying, you don't have to watch. Change the fucking channel. If you like it, we're here to help you. We're here, to have you on, to support you in whatever your journey is, whether it's sexual exploration or just becoming a better individual. Fuck, man, we support that 110%.
We do.
So I think that's probably a good note to end off tonight on.
Yeah, sure.
Do you have anything else you want to say?
No, this was fun.
This was fun?
Yeah.
How you feeling?
Yeah, I feel good.
Good.
I feel good.
Randy, last time, we're easing Randy into this. She's a beautiful person, a beautiful soul. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
And I know that all of the viewers do as well, because like we said before, this isn't easy. It's hard to be...
It's getting easy, though.
It's getting easier?
Yeah.
You're always worried about what someone's gonna think or what someone's gonna say, but in the end, we just want you guys to live better lives and be who you are.
That's right.
Be raw, be real, be yourself, be authentic to the world. So that's the message for tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed episode 2 of the Sunday Night Sex Show.
We'll be back next week.
We'll be back, and I hope this was a little lighter, because if you guys scroll back to the guests we had this past week, we had some pretty heavy stuff.
Yeah, no.
Some great stories, some great guests. So if you guys need some motivation, inspiration, or you know anyone that's struggling with sort of mental illness or battling a disease like cancer, go back to last week's episode, Woman Crush Wednesday, and Mental Health Motivational Monday. And tune in. This week we've got some great guests coming up. So you can reach us.
You're going to want to watch.
You're going to want to watch. So even if you don't like, if you're fine in the mental health realm and shit like that, and you just want to have fun and talk sex with us, just tune in on Sundays. It's all good. So reach out, sexandsuicidepodcast@gmail.com, or shoot us a message through one of these platforms, and we will see you again tomorrow. All right? Say goodbye, Randy.
Bye.
Bye, guys. That camera. There you go.
Which one?
This one.
Fucking move. My legs on the stuff. Woo.